Hello and welcome to News9 Show the South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanand. As usual, I shall bring to you 9 top stories from the south of India. Let me now begin with the first one coming up on your screens right now. Siddaramaiah government puts the Karnataka Reservation Bill on hold after a severe backlash. That's the focus of the opening story on the show, which is making headlines all across the country. Siddaramaiah holds back Karnataka Reservation Bill. It took Karnataka Chief Minister just a couple of hours to delete a tweet and 24 hours to announce that he's withholding the contentious Karnataka State Employment of Local Industries, Factories Establishment Act Bill 2024. Siddaramaiah first deleted the tweet, which was as follows. The cabinet meeting held yesterday approved a bill to make it mandatory to hire 100% Kannadigas for C and D grade posts in all private industries in the state. It is our government's wish that the Kannadigas should avoid being deprived of jobs in the land of Kannada and should be given an opportunity to build a comfortable life in the motherland. We are a pro-Kannada government. Our priority is to look after the welfare of Kannadigas, close quote. And then he wrote yet another tweet, which is as follows. The draft bill aimed at the private sector in Karnataka mandated 50% of management jobs and 75% of management roles to be reserved only for local candidates. That is only Kannadigas. There's also, of course, a proposal of reserving 100% jobs in C and D grade posts for Kannadigas. I don't think that we added the latest tweet of Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. My apologies about that. I think we should add that. Let's now focus on what the other conditions of this rollback draft bill were. On your screens, 50% reservation for locals in management jobs, 75% quota in non-management jobs in private sector, 100% quota for locals in C and D grade government jobs, Rupees 10,000 to 25,000 penalty for non-compliance. Now, the bill described as local as someone who is born in Karnataka, has domiciled in the state for 15 years, is fluent in Kannada and also passes a required test by the nodal agency. These are all the conditions which actually define someone who is local. Siddaramaiah tried being very vocal for local, but like I said, he withheld the bill. Now, captains of industry and even NASSCOM erupted in protest in the state, even as pro-Kannada activists lauded the Kannadigas' first spirit of the bill.
This draft bill is draconian, illegal, unconstitutional, undemocratic and fascist because of the conditions the draft bill. Now, they say we got a reserve job in private sector based upon whether you're local or otherwise, which is illegal against Article 19. When Haryana tried to do it, the High Court struck it down as unconstitutional. So I don't know why they're doing it. Second, look at the definition of local. A local is a person who is born in Karnataka, domiciled for minimum 15 years, who can read, speak and write Kannada. Okay. And if you don't have a Kannada as a third language in a school leaving certificate, it means that you have to pass a test from a nodal agency. Now look at me. Okay, I am born here. I've lived here all my life. I'm highly accomplished. I've done a very good job here. And if I go seek a job, if I don't have Kannada in my third language, I have to pass the test. Why should I pass the test? Who are there to tell me whether I'm a local or not? I'm a local. This state belongs to me. My city belongs to me. How can they define me and say this is a local? It's illegal. It's against the constitution, against the citizenship norms. And then they say you have taken nodal test. What test is that? Why should anybody take a test? Of course, I got third language Kannada in my school certificate, but I can speak Kannada, but I can't read and write as easily. They say fluently.
And this is what yet another iconic business person from Karnataka had to say. Her name, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. She said, as a tech hub, we need skilled talent, and while the aim is to provide jobs for locals, we must not affect our leading position in technology by this move. There must be caveats that exempt highly skilled recruitment from this policy. even as a loud roar of protest was heard from stakeholders across the state. Industry Minister M.B. Patil and IT and Biotechnology Minister Priyank Kharge went on the defensive. They kept saying that let's assure all the entrepreneurs and startups that their businesses will not be put in danger. But by then, the issue got out of hand as Nara Lokesh, minister in the newly formed Andhra government, tweeted as follows. He said, "Dear NASSCOM members, we understand your disappointment. We welcome you to expand or relocate your businesses to our IT services, AI and data center cluster at Vizag, which is of course Visakhapatnam. We will offer you best-in-class facilities, uninterrupted power, infrastructure and the most suitable skilled talent for your IT enterprise with no restrictions from the government. Andhra Pradesh is ready to welcome you. Please get in touch." It's obvious that the bill was perhaps a hurried effort by the Siddaramaiah government to reiterate the Kannada self-pride. But let's listen in to other reasons why it's been deferred. Why has it been withheld after so much of thought which went into it? There was always an indication that this will happen because Siddaramaiah always said this is a government only for Kannadigas. Then what happened? Let's figure out. Dr. Jacob Krasta, former president, FKCCI and former co-chairperson, ASSOCHAM, Southern Council, has joined us. Also Nizam Fauzdar, General Secretary and spokesperson for the KPCC, and Ashwini Kumar, spokesperson for the BJP in Karnataka. Let me first go to Nizam Fauzdar, as he belongs to the government and he can, to the party, and he can tell us what exactly went wrong. Nizam, yesterday Satya Prakash was here. I asked him the same question, that why are you hurrying it up? Why is it? Because on the one hand, you say that we are a government which represents every section of the society. So I was saying, what about those minority children who study in madrasas and study Urdu? They don't study Kannada. There is no compulsion on them. Are you going to keep them out of jobs? He had an answer, but not an answer. Over to you, Nizam.
No, I think Sudha, we are getting hyper about the whole issue. Who said? I think when I was listening to the bite from Mohandas Pai, he was saying as if the whole hell has broken down on his head. Who said that the high tech and every job category or everybody has to move out of Karnataka? They are playing as if Mohandas Pai, from which side he belongs to. He belongs to the right wing. And he keeps trumpeting about the Modi and the Modi policies and the draconian policies that the BJP propagates. But today he gets a chance and he tries to hit a six. But let me tell you, what we are simply saying is the first right of job is for the Kannadigas and who are basically from Karnataka. So what's wrong in this? But I also agree that the Bangalore is a very cosmopolitan city. Leaving Bangalore aside, there is a huge state which is called Karnataka. And Karnataka is one of the highest revenue generating state in the entire country. What we see, there may be certain, nuances that can be rectified and we will do that. But the issue today is not about कि हम सबको बेघर कर देंगे यहाँ से
No, but Nizam, seriously, your Karnataka, you speak Tulu, you speak Telugu in some parts, you speaking Marathi in some parts, you speak Dakhani in many parts, which I'm sure, I do not know if you speak Dakhani. My friends speak Dakhani wonderfully well. Tamil is also spoken in certain parts. Kannada is spoken differently in different parts. When you have so many languages.
Marathi, they speak in Belgaum and the Belgaum side.
Yes. The point is that you can't just make it Kannadigas and you can't make it Kannada only. If I haven't done Kannada as third language, then I have to take a special exam which a nodal agency will decide. What is this? You are styming. You are actually reducing it, and I know Nizam personally you would not want such a thing. But then you are the representative of Siddaramaiah. I'll come back to you, Nizam. Dr. Jacob Krasta.
Let me finish.
हाँ बोलो, बोलिए.
See, देखिए, जब हम एक बड़ा सा पिक्चर देखते हैं ना, Bangalore is one of the only cities in the country where if you know one language, it could be Assami, it could be the Bengali, it could be the Sikkim, it could be from any part of the country. If you just know one language, you can survive in Bangalore. And that's the kind of genesis that we have in Bangalore. everybody comes from every part of the country, and they see
But you
the
still
dreams,
want us
they
to
have their
study Kannada,
aspirations
no?
attached.
Yeah.
Padne
You
do thoda, let them
Acha,
let them learn one more
that is
language.
no, it's
Is there
jokes
anything?
apart. That's
No, no, no,
discriminatory.
no.
Dr. Jacob Krasta, former
Sudhaji,
president. No, I have to go to Dr. Krasta now. Dr. Krasta, I have read several views on this. Ultimately, the buck stops at that if the IT hub is getting 25% of your GDP, or if your startups are really a vibrant industry, then this kind of a rule where you should be domicile fine, born there, theek hai. But then to learn Kannada or else sit for a special exam, and this is private sector, managerial, non-managerial, this is completely discriminatory, Dr. Krasta. I thought that in this country, we lived under the book, that is the constitution. Being in Delhi, I can go to Sikkim and I can work there.
100%. So this is a completely a misnomer. This bill probably has brought at the moment where Siddaramaiah and DK Shikumar are in a trouble because of the Mysore Urban Development Agency MUDA, where the corruption case is happening, and the whole that opposition leaders are in a attacking mode. Probably he brought this bill just to appease the Kannadigas. Out of the 5 guarantees, this is maybe another one of the guarantees he is trying to push forward for the Kannadigas.
Okay.
Whereas he is doing it for the private agencies. Private agencies do not give a job based on the language.
Exactly.
Purely based on the skill and the talent what they have. That is the reason why private agency is prospering, and we are now crossing $4 trillion economy. Look at the private agency, look at the government agencies. Government agency is suffering. Why? Because of this kind of reservation. Private agencies do not go on the reservation. They purely go on the talent and the skill what a single person has. Not language. Language is only a communication purpose. Now, for the sake of Karnataka, if at all this Karnataka Reservation Bill is brought, sanctioned in the cabinet, and is immediately within 24 hours removed, it is because of the pressure from the industry.
Absolutely.
You can't. Otherwise,
absolutely.
Otherwise,
and because of
otherwise
Bengaluru.
just imagine.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just imagine Bangalore city, just within 50 kilometers, Andhra is there. Within 35 kilometers, there is a Telangana there. And within another 15 kilometers, Tamil Nadu is there.
Yes.
So people will shift from Karnataka.
Absolutely. And let me bring Ashwini Shankar here, spokesperson for the BJP. Ashwini ji, I want to ask you that yesterday I had one spokesperson from your party, Vijay Prasad, and he said, well, let's look at what is the detail of the bill. The bill has been now put on hold. Your thoughts on this, ma'am? What do you think? Ashwini ji?
Definitely, Sudha madam. This is, yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Sudhaji, this is totally diversion tactics what state government is doing, because every day, every night we see scams happening here, new scams, series of scams happening in the state. So this is totally a false appeasement to Kannadigas, what Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar are playing with Kannadigas and their, nativity here. Firstly, let Siddaramaiah government generate adequate jobs for everybody here in Karnataka. Then let them decide whether it is for Kannadigas or non-Kannadigas and whatever it is. Unscientifically, they have brought this bill, and that is the reason why he had to again put a...
No, but Ashwini
for
ji,
that,
I know that you may say that they are not part of the BJP, but Hindu, Vedike, all these organizations, they are pro-Kannada. We remember recently also, like a couple of months ago, with that kind of a, signage, only Kannada, in Bengaluru, they went on a rampage. They have said that they really support this because it's about Kannada self-pride. So, Ashwini Shankar ji, do you think that, your party, which always talks about nationalism, talks about language, linguistic pride, you are not in favor of this? Are you in favor of this or no? I think Ashwini ji can't hear me, so
is in the forefront,
she can.
And
go on.
when it comes to Kannada, BJP is the only party, that is always in the torchbearer. But when it comes to jobs at Bengaluru and it is,
We need to
totally
fix her audio, guys. I mean, she's
unscientific.
coming and going. There's no point. We need to fix. Ashwini ji, please wait, because we need to fix your audio. And meanwhile, I think I will go to Nizam Fauzdar. Nizam, tell me something. This is a thought which is not very political, but I'm saying as an individual also. If you want Kannadigas to prosper, it's a great idea. After all, they are the sons of the soil, But the thing is, make them more skilled, give them training, see to it that they are more this thing. You can't say that, oh, you are from this state, you're not trained enough, you have to become, a voluntary Kannadiga to be able to do that. Provide them enough skills, that's what everyone is saying. Provide them the kind of education that they require, instead of, doing all this, like Siddaramaiah saying, we are only for Kannadigas, which I think is very discriminatory.
Oh, sorry, Sudhaji. We have about the highest number of technical education institutes in Karnataka. We have about 1,14,000 seats in Karnataka, which is engineering seats. We have this Karnataka state has normally been a employment surplus state. That's the reason people from all over come and still get a job and they thrive here. So the educational point of view, Karnataka is an educational hub. You talk about Bangalore, you talk about Mangalore, you talk about Udupi, you talk about Manipal, you talk about Gulbarga, you talk about any district you see, you have huge number of medical colleges, you have engineering colleges, you have degree colleges, you have schools which are spread across every taluk. So our training, our ability to give good education to the people is unquestionable. When a BJP spokesperson says this is a diversionary tactic, let them simply say we don't stand by this bill. We don't want Kannadigas to get the
That's
first
what I
prize.
asked Ashwini Nizam, but we lost
Let them
connection
say,
to her. They are also treading
but,
very carefully, and what you said, Nizam, fine, maybe you have great education, fine, Bangalore is one of the finest cities, but with this is very self-limiting, because above everything you need economic prosperity. Your IT industry, your different small industries, medium industries, it's all people by people who've come from outside. That's why today a Nara Lokesh says, come here, tells NASSCOM. NASSCOM has blasted you. They've said that you can't possibly have such a self-limiting policy. Dr. Krasta, please focus on what it will do to the industry in general, to overall the workforce, Dr. Krasta, because, I understand, at one level they say that the Kannadigas are being left behind because you from X state come here, take the job. But then I think the job that I get is because of merit, because of the skill sets that I have. If I want someone else to compete with me, then come compete with me on equal keel. So how does it actually impact the industry, as it were, Dr. Krasta?
100%, Sudhaji. See, because employment is not by the language, as I had told you earlier. Employment by the skill and the talent. And the skill and talent is obtained by skill department of the employment department. Now, when the NSDC is there, the government department, central government as well as
Yes, Dr. Krasta.
after they pass out, they require a skilling. Only after skilling, industry can take up the job. So we let them do that 100% reservation for skill departments, and these government training institutes. So there they can have 100%. Then if they have skilling is done and after that qualify to get the job, we can definitely give that job, no doubt about it. But without giving skilling and with the talent which has been now mentioned about that, and if they ask us, you give a reservation for Kannadigas by virtue of their Kannadigas, I'm sorry, it cannot be done in industry. And private industry will not.
Oh God, I think there is something with all the networks today. I mean, Dr. Krasta also froze there. Let me go to Nizam. Nizam, I want to ask you that the onus, if an organization, apparently there is a fine. Why is there a fine, Nizam? 10,000 and 25,000 rupees if I do not adhere to this. I can understand you encourage me to do this, but why do you fine me? Why do you put a penalty?
We will work on the nuances and the nitty-gritties of the bill.
Right.
We will reintroduce in such a way that everybody's interest is kept in mind.
All right.
Now, why this and why that? It's a very premature question today. My simple approach to the whole situation is that our state has been giving the best GST collection. We have been giving the best revenue to the central government and to the various parts of the country because they earn here and they send it back. From that point of view, right? What we are simply saying is let us have a level playing field. Everybody gets a good opportunity to work within the Karnataka state, especially Bangalore. But let me also tell you that the high-tech industry may not really get perturbed about, oh my God, we will have the hell going to be broken on our head. We understand.
You know what,
there are
Nizam, I understand you are going to work on the
jobs.
nuances, but the point is that you worked it out in a hurry. You are now regretting it, and it's not a good thing on a government.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do the most prospering states are being questioned? Why is Tamil Nadu questioned? Why is Maharashtra questioned? Why is Karnataka questioned?
Yeah,
why is
because Tamil
Telangana
Nadu,
questioned?
the
Why
date,
not? Why
because
not?
because
Why not
you
we
are all
question
you are that
Yogi
the federal
Adityanath?
cooperation
Why
and the
don't we
federal
question
independence
Nitish?
of all the South Indian states. Salute to them. But you are part of this country called
big
India,
salute.
that
But
is
why don't we
Bharat.
question
You have to
Yogi
go by the
Adityanath?
constitution. Simple.
Why
I
don't
have
we
answered your
question?
question. Can
Why
I
don't
have
we
the
question
prize?
every
Nizam?
other state chief minister ki why are you not able to bring immigrants into their own state? They don't do that. They
ठीक है.
simply why is
All
मैं
right.
बोलता
No,
हूँ ना,
Nizam, but you have regretted it, and
aren't you
I'm
with
only
me?
saying for the good
Aren't
of the
you with me?
Kannadigas that something has to be worked out rather than this draconian, self-limiting bill. Ashwini Shankarji, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I want to
Yes,
ask you a
of course.
straight question, and ma'am, I request you for a straight answer. Do you agree to this bill, yes or no?
Has no clarity. So let the bill be tabled. We don't know what has been included. Only then, once we get to know, we can start our discussion. Once the bill is tabled in the. Meanwhile, I just asked Siddaramaiah that whether he has any clarity of what local Kannadiga, migrated Kannadiga, is he is speaking. This is totally unscientific, and that is why he had to take it back, and that is why he had to step back now. Within 24 hours, twice he related to this.
All right.
First,
Yeah, you are saying first let us study the bill. I do not know what is there to study the bill. I asked you very clearly, reservation for Kannadigas only, do you agree? But you don't want to answer that straight off because your party also works on this whole nationalism thing. And I think and Nizam there is saying that we will work on the nuances, but the point is that the Congress party and the ruling dispensation in Karnataka has really hurried up and done something and sent out a message which sounds like the other party. Dr. Jacob Krasta, you think that they will, as of now, they have said withheld the bill. Do you think that they will, somehow I feel that they will not completely junk the bill, but I feel that maybe they will decrease the 50% and 75% and the 100%. What are your thoughts? What are you hearing, sir? What should they be doing, to be smart and wise about the entire thing?
But they are definitely going to do a little bit of tinkering there in the bill. And like as the 5 guarantees which they have done, where the government is losing about say 62,000 crores from the budget because of the 5 guarantees implementation. And because of the guarantees are given, we are not getting the people for the job, and they have become lazy in the villages. Generally in MSME we have 48% employment. Where do the employment? Only MSME gives that, and we actually bring them from the rural area, train them up in our shop floor, and give the employment. Who are these? They're all basically Kannadigas only. It is not that because we are doing because of the reservation of Siddaramaiah. We are doing it because we have taken a loan and we have to satisfy the EMI. because we are taken upon, and that's the reason why the Karnataka is paying second highest GST. Due to what? Because of our stability and because of our intelligence in our doing in the business. So when this being the case, what is required is, instead of forcing industries to provide a job for Kannadigas, let them do that in the skill department. The skill is definitely has been done, because there is a department of skill in an employment generation. So there they can train them up and provide the people so that you can absorb. Out of that, they can, if their skilling is done, they can definitely do that tinkering in the present bill. That's our suggestion to the government.
And on that note, thank you very much, Dr. Jacob Krasta. Thank you so much, Nizam Faujdar and Ashwini ji. I'm sorry, but your connection was really poor, so I could not possibly give you much time. But thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. The next story, which is coming up, Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy directs authorities to take action to curb the increasing menace of dogs in the state. A very unusual story, but such a people-oriented story. That coming up in a jiffy.
इस खेल में खेला होगा, हर नहले पे दहला होगा। ये बड़ा है, स्टेज बड़ा है, पूरा भारत साथ खड़ा है। साथ खड़ा है। गेम बड़ा है, dribble like a rap, pass, setting up the trap, kick it hard in the ball, chuck the football. Chuck the football. Chuck the football. Chuck the football.
20,000 people dead and counting. What's happening in the United States of America is unprecedented. You will have to pay for this.
Who am I?
Nobody can crack that mystery.
There is a certain expectation of me.
That's the only contradiction.
Life itself is stranger than fiction.
I was a perfectly normal person born in an abnormal world.
I really didn't understand why is it different.
Just imagine a child who is bullied every day.
Boys school में कुछ लड़का लोग मेरे साथ sexual abuse किए.
मुझे तेरे बारे में सब पता है और मैं तेरा रेप कर लूँगा.
You also start to stigmatize.
अरे ये तो time pass है.
Sex doesn't come in the picture. Sex comes very late. Then there are man-made narratives.
Why do you walk like that? Why do you sway so much? So you can understand the trauma of a person who's trapped in a wrong body.
But nothing can bind life.
We have to reclaim the lost position. We fought for more than 10 years.
Today I'm the mother of the industry.
I'm a first transgender member judge.
You can't walk in everybody's shoes.
This is what I'm comfortable with. They just are what they are.
You become the light yourself.
That is the change that I was looking for.
When I recognize myself is a small story, but it's an interesting one.
When we talk about India, unfortunately the country has the highest burden of road crash fatalities.
तो लगभग 76% लोग pedestrians और two-wheeler वाले हैं जिनकी death हुई है.
While the highways are getting better in India, the local roads, the city roads, the town roads, these need to be improved.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world. winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
You know, politicians are not all the same, actually. To paint them with the same brush is rather unfair. They do, of course, indulge in politics, but sometimes they take action when it involves people like you and me. Revanth Reddy acts to curtail the menace of rabid dogs in Telangana. The menace has reared its head in Telangana in such a serious fashion that the Chief Minister had to take the step. On 16 July, an 18-month-old toddler called Vihan was mauled to death by a pack of stray dogs in Adarsh Nagar of Jawahar Nagar on the outskirts of Hyderabad. Vihan sustained multiple injuries on his head, limbs and other parts of his body and unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. They say that he was playing outside when he was attacked by a pack of dogs. According to preliminary investigations, they say the Jawahar Nagar police has said that Vihan was first taken to one hospital and then was taken to another hospital where he succumbed. And apparently, the stray dogs dragged him a few meters away. The issue sent shock waves across the state, prompting Revanth Reddy to take immediate measures to prevent such incidents. He has ordered his officials to establish a call center or toll-free number for citizens to report stray dog-related incidents and ensure swift action. This is not the first incident of death by stray dogs and has occurred in and around Hyderabad many times. Only that past complaints completely went unheeded. Nobody said, okay, we will take action. People made calls, but who was there to listen? But this time around, Revanth, realizing its gravity, directed the officials to set up an expert committee with representatives from voluntary organizations, veterinarians and Blue Cross to study the factors contributing to the aggression of stray dogs towards children. In another stray dog incident, dogs attacked 25 people in Huzurabad town on 17th of July. So, can you understand how grave the situation is? Among them, one person is said to be critical and is being treated at the MGM hospital in Warangal. The rabid dog bite menace is now a pan-Indian phenomenon and needs more action than what is being done right now. To speak more on this, Arun Prasad, animal activist, will join us, and Shivashish Sinha, founder Bone Tail Foundation and street dog activist, is right now with us on this broadcast. Shivashish Sinha, a very warm welcome to you. This is, you know, I saw the footage, Shivashish, of little Vihan, and I have not been able to come out of it. Mauling as in mauling. I know you can't sit on judgment on animals like that, but the point of the matter is that the same problem had occurred in Kerala a couple of months ago. I had done a lot of stories there. Now, the ABC program, which is the animal birth control, has completely failed. No one cares. The street dogs, they multiply and they are left to fend for themselves and they are biting. What is the way out, Shivashish Sinha?
First of all, we need to understand that the dog menace that is being carried out is not a today's thing, or it has been in the limelight since then when it started. So to say that a rabid dog is biting is very different than a stray dog is biting. And a pack of dogs is completely different. And in case of Rehan, which is very unfortunate that we lost the life, and in many other cases, just as you said, it's a menace. So we need to understand that the gravity needs to be understood and taken care of, to which the Honorable CM has given his directions. So according to me, we need to understand the gravity of the situation, and we don't need to make them our enemies. So at the end of the day, they are all animals. Okay, so if we are fighting for them, we have our voices, they don't have their voices. So we have to make sure that not everybody is taken into consideration into this menace which is happening, but those dogs which are in need, who need care, who need actions to be taken, like rabid dogs, just as you mentioned. So rabies is not common in all the dogs. So a pack of dogs is not necessarily a pack of rabid dogs. But in case of attacks, why it happens, the dog behavior, and as you said, the ABC program has completely failed. That is why our Honorable CM has said for the dedicated call centers and
Shivashish
toll-free
Sinha,
numbers.
you are an expert and a domain expert, and I really respect your knowledge. And I may not know so much about it. I am very scared when a dog chases after me, and it has happened.
Understood.
And without my provoking, they say don't provoke, just stand there, smile, say hello doggy. I've done all that. It's chased after me. It's bitten a lot of other people. For a common man, particularly if I'm the mother of Vihan today, I don't understand all this. A dog bit my kid and he's dead. So I'm asking you that the CM now is woken up and doing call center, because I spoke to a lot of people in Hyderabad. They said, ma'am, this is not the first time. We call civic agencies, there is zero kind of movement. ABC has failed. They are also living beings like I am. If I do not do birth control, one keeps giving birth to babies. Similarly with dogs, the ABC has failed. Then of course there are dog lovers. I have seen dog lovers will come and say, I am feeding these dogs, don't do anything to them. I want to ask them, do they have any license or validation? Because you will feed the dogs, you will go away. There is no guarantee, because these are lovely animals, they can't speak. I do understand that. We want solutions. We don't want deaths. Tomorrow if Vihan's family sees a dog, you know what kind of a feeling that is going to churn in them, and they are going to carry it out in generations. Every time Vihan's name is taken, they'll say, Kutte ne mara isko. So we want solutions, sir. Understand, this is a child who's dead.
I understand the gravity of the situation, and condolences to the whole family of Vihan. And I am not saying that it's not a menace. I have seen dog bite cases in every state, not only in Telangana, but at every place. You mentioned that Kerala is also suffering from the same thing, and municipal officials and all the respective government bodies are doing something or the other to make sure that the situation is controlled. So likewise, this case that you just reported, if you talk as a mother, if you talk as a common person, of course, the gravity is concerning regarding the dog bite. But at the same time, we cannot just make them a whole as a community enemy.
We are not, we are asking for solutions, Sarji. Arun Prasad, animal activist, has also joined us. Arun, welcome to the show. Arun, considering that, you know, dog bites have increased, cases in Telangana, a small child, 18 months old, was mauled, he passed away. 25 bites in Warangal district alone. People are in hospitals. Revanth Reddy is acted. Is there a way out? Is there something that the government and the authorities need to do which they are not doing well today?
Yes. See here, ABC program, animal welfare program, okay, in Andhra and Telangana, it is not implemented properly, because when we see the Supreme Court order in 2016, it clearly wrote a letter to the Chief Secretary of all states, okay, to be in compliance with the Supreme Court orders. Supreme Court authorized to establish a state-level monitoring committee headed by the Principal Secretary or Additional Chief Secretary, Urban Development Department, with Animal Husbandry Director as the Member Secretary. It clearly gave a guidelines like how to you have to go about.
I think we've lost our connection to Arun Prasad, the animal activist, and look at those visuals. Of course, those visuals can be. Is Arun back? Arun, please go ahead, Arun.
Yeah, and the state level ABC monitoring committee, at the local authority level, local authority ABC monitoring committee, they have to establish, and after that, they have to call for the tender, and ABC through accredited NGOs, they have to do the ABC program, and in each district. But here what is happening is that the government authorities fail to implement the directions of the Supreme Court. Here what is happening is, what the Supreme Court had told, okay, the orders, and also you have a beautiful, okay, Gazette notification, ABC Rules 2023, where everything is step by step is given how to control the stray dog population. Why? Because I'll tell you why the dogs get aggressive and why Supreme Court, okay, authorized sterilization. Three things. One is, okay, mating urge. Okay. Next is, okay, for food, and the third thing is, okay, maternal instinct. Okay. Now, why sterilization? Because, okay, it is a United Nations program, okay, where, you know, the World Health Organization has directed that street dog population can be stopped only by birth control, not by culling. Okay. Now, when you do sterilization,
but that ABC program, that is animal birth control program, has completely failed, or rather, Arun Prasad, you are saying that the government has not been able to implement it as it should have been.
Yes, government did not implement it in letter and spirit.
Right. So, therefore, I am asking for just, you know, Shivashish Sinha is also with us. So, Shivashish, there you have it. You have a kind of step by step, like in anything else in life. You know, how do I unlock my phone? We watch YouTube videos. The thing is that the government sits there doing nothing. And now the Chief Minister has said, okay, let's have this great kind of a thing. Call us, we will help you. There is Blue Cross, there is Green Cross, everything. But the point is, don't you think that even governments in this country only wake up when there are number of deaths and don't really do anything right at the start when they can actually control it?
Yes, you are right in this point. I would surely agree to your point that they could have saved this to happen if the animal birth control program was taken out in a proper manner. So, of course, now the steps are being taken, and better late than never. So, if Honorable CM has started this and is moving ahead with this direction, so maybe this dog menace could have not turned out like this. Could have saved one life.
Okay. Arun, I want to come to you. So, if ABC is the birth control is the only way to curtail this, you think by setting up now that Revanth Reddy Garu has set up this center, etc., do you think it will help for some time at least, or again it will go back into the back burner and there will be bites?
Always a tendency, like just now you told, no, when something issue raises pinnacle, okay, all bureaucrats and politicians will this one. After that, the issue dies down. Okay, here one more, this one very important thing I want to tell you is that, okay, these stray dog issues, if you don't control the population by sterilization, what happens is that you have the SWM rule, Solid Waste Management Rules 2016. In that one, what is happening is that the food is removed from source. That is, you know, you cannot be in the olden days when we are youngsters in the 1970s and 80s, we used to dump the food in the street garbage. All used to eat. Now, as per the SWM rules, I had seen in Andhra also, in one village, okay, the truck comes and removes the household waste. Now, the animals are not getting food. So, you have to also understand that, in the ABC rule, that is why, you know, under Rule 20, okay, feeding of the dogs is legal. That is, you have to feed the dogs and everything, so that, you know, once their stomach, always remember, whenever the stomach is full, there is no instinct to attack. Even the wild animals, or even the tiger, lion, or once they eat, okay.
But then there are also animal lovers in some localities, in my localities, who are feeding these strays, but they all go to work and the strays are biting other people. Do these animal lovers have any kind of a validation that they are allowed to do this?
See here, okay, under Article 51 AG, everybody has as a citizen of India, you have to show compassion. Okay, it is a duty. Why? Because if animal lovers are not feeding, someone else has to feed the animal. The local authority has to ensure the feeding of the animals. And one more thing I'll tell you, okay, no animal is dangerous. It is how we treat the animal. See, wildlife photographers are there. Okay, have you seen any wild animal attacking the wildlife photographers until now?
Right.
Why? Because they know how to interact with the animal.
Absolutely. I have seen a lot of people stoning them, lot of people beating them with sticks, kicking them. But the point is, but the point is, I'm so sorry, Arun, if it's about a little child dying due to a dog bite, I'm with the child. Sorry, that's my species. I'm sorry. If it's going to be that, and I expect the authorities and the government and the RWS to do something, like you say, even with Revanth Reddy, he may have a good intention. But I'm telling you, one political issue tomorrow and he's going to drop it like a hot potato. I've completely run out of time. Thank you so much, Arun Prasad and Shivashi Sinha, for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed. Our next big story, dengue cases breached the 10,000 mark in Karnataka. Beds reserved in 5 hospitals to deal with rising cases. All right, so that's the story. Over 10,000 dengue cases in Karnataka. The dengue cases have breached the 10,900 mark in the state, forcing the Karnataka Health Department to earmark 4 hospitals to reserve beds for dengue patients. As per the data, the state has logged a total of 10,973 dengue cases so far, while Bengaluru's BBMP has reported 4,040. The Health Department has therefore chosen the following hospital and assigned beds. Please note down: KC General Hospital, 25 beds; CV Raman Hospital, 25 beds; J. Jayanagara Hospital, 25 beds; Taluka Hospital in Yelahanka, 10 beds, and KR Puram, 10 beds to reserve beds for dengue patients. This is of course over and above the directions issued earlier on the reservation of 10 beds each in family and welfare hospitals in district headquarters and 5 beds each in Taluka headquarters. The surge in dengue cases is particularly concerning during the monsoon seasons, and therefore residents have been urged to take necessary precautions such as using mosquito repellents, ensuring there is no stagnant water around their homes, and seeking immediate medical attention if there are any symptoms. The public health advisory also includes guidance on recognizing dengue symptoms and the importance of early diagnosis and treatment. But you know what is the crucial question? Why is there an outbreak every year in Karnataka, and knowing full well that it surges during the monsoons? You will turn around and ask me that only in Karnataka? No, but I was speaking about Karnataka here. Why are not enough precautions taken in advance than wait for it to spread like an epidemic year after year after year? That's the question, and we got to think about it. And coming up next in the South Indian is yet another story which has to do with Karnataka. The GT World Mall in Karnataka shuts for 7 days after denying entry to a man wearing dhoti. All right, mall shut down after denying entry to a man who's wearing a dhoti. This is India. Yes, that's what I thought. Karnataka government has directed GT World Mall in Bengaluru to be shut down for 7 days after an elderly farmer called Fakirappa was denied entry for wearing a dhoti. The incident occurred on Tuesday evening when an elderly farmer, that is Fakirappa, and his son were stopped at the entrance of this GT Mall despite having tickets to watch a film. The security guards barred the elderly farmer entry because he was wearing a dhoti and asked him to come back dressed in pants. Now, Urban Development Minister Bhairati Suresh said that there was a provision under the law for such an action. He said, and I am quoting the minister here, "I just spoke to one of our former BBMP, that is Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike commissioners. The government has the provision under the law to shut down the mall for 7 days. So there the mall goes off for 7 days. Even as the incident sparked overall outrage across sections, farmer organizations protested on the streets and termed the Siddaramaiah government anti-farmer. But you know what I feel? That the mall being shut is of course a message being sent across to several such who act of their own volition, banning people who may not come up to their standards, what is termed to be stylish and proper. But then there are rules, and above all else, ladies and gents, there is this constitution in our country which defines you and me and us as people of India. Let's not ever forget that. So as promised, I'll leave you with some of the other top headlines from the south of India. Enjoy. Namaskara.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए।